Ooh, yeah. Welcome back to the Daily Grind, brother. Ooh, that was not Macho Man Randy Savage. R.I.P. This is your host, Luke Hatmaker. This is the Daily Grind. I got to work on my Macho Man. It is Tuesday, and that means I've got Rusty with me. Buckets, how are you, brother?
I'm good, man. Yeah, man. Good to see you. Feels like it's been a minute since we've seen each other. You know, it's just been a few short days. But it is National Vanilla Ice Cream and Sprinkles Day. So happy National Vanilla Ice Cream and Sprinkles Day to all those that celebrate.
Man, they used to call me Vanilla Ice Cream and Sprinkles back in high school. So this is a wonderful coincidence.
This is perfect.
Also, shout out real quick. I love vanilla ice cream. I don't know why vanilla ice cream gets such a boring rap. It's really good. It's good.
It really is. And it's you can church it up a little with some cinnamon or some sprinkles on days like today. You can eat it plain. You can put fruit in it. Like there's a lot that you can do with it. Real quick, shout out, no free shout outs. Ninja makes a thing called a creamy, and you can make your own ice cream and stuff in it. And Maggie and I were playing with this lemon sorbet recipe where it's just essentially lemon juice, Splenda, and water. You freeze it for 24 hours. It makes a sorbet. Had it last night. 10 out of 10. Definitely recommend.
Sounds awesome.
Oh, it's incredible. Especially when you're on Weight Watchers.
God, shoot. Enough about Weight Watchers.
Yeah.
I like Weight Watchers. We could talk about that all day. But let's talk about before we went live. We're disappointed. It's summer league. The first thing I said to you was I was disappointed. It was a competitive game. For those of you who didn't watch, the Grizzlies lost in overtime to the Miami Heat in the summer league final, 118-120. I didn't know the overtime rules for summer league.
Cool, right?
Really cool. I was like, wait, what? It was honestly more exciting than it was more exciting which maybe that's why I'm so disappointed, because it made it more exciting. It was just a tough game. It was a tough game to have to watch the Grizzlies lose when I think we had maybe the 2 or 3 best players on the court.
Oh my gosh, I don't even think it was close. You know,
not yet.
It's. I saw a tweet last night. I think it was made in Memphis. Said, "Is summer league making you nauseous, or are you normal right now?" And it's like, I never was like, I don't remember being that invested in summer league. I don't know if it was because last year was such a bust or last night's game was just so great. You know, we've had such a run this summer watching the development of Gigi and Scotty and Jake, you know, stepping up and making big NBA plays and earning some spots on some rosters. And it was a fun summer, but man, what a bad way to go out. You know, we'll get into it more here in a minute, I know, but like the hits kept coming yesterday. Like we came in second in a lot of different ways, and it was not fun. And to lose on free throws of all things, you know, like if we'd gone like down the stretch, I think we were like 5 for like 13 or 19, 5 for 17, I think is what it was on free throws. Then the final couple of minutes, I mean, even if you just make a handful more, we win that game walking away. And it's just the most Memphis Grizzly thing ever, right? Like we're going to lose. We're not going to make our free throws. It just is what it is. And they were giving Edie Muse some flack last night on Twitter because he was getting upset about our free throw missing. And it's like, bro, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, man. If you think that was bad, and that's it, just you said it was so characteristically Grizzlies. It's like they kept being like, oh yeah, Scottie Pippen Jr.'s made every free throw, 19 straight up until this. It's just like everybody. Gigi missed 2 in a row at one point. It was just like I kept seeing it, and I was like, are you kidding me? It was like, you got to be making these. These are the ones that you got to be making. You've been making them. What's going on?
We had so many opportunities in those final couple of minutes to make free throws to ice that game. We just couldn't do it. And we left a good Miami team hanging around. Josh Christopher had a great game last night. Drew's over here in the comments. I'm not happy that Miami won. Like Khalil Ware looked good last night. He's an NBA player. He will get a lot of minutes for Miami. But I did not want to lose that game last night, especially to a team that we had. I mean, we had them on the ropes. We were up by as many as 9, and we're pulling away. And anytime it felt like in the second half, Miami they'd score like 6 or 8 straight points, and then we'd go on like a 13-0 run. And then they'd score 4 or 5 in a row. We'd go on a 9-0 run. And it just felt like the game we're going to win. Yeah. And then we just ran out of gas at the end. You know, forgive me if you heard the story before, but we ran out of gas down the stretch and missed free throws.
Yeah, and I mean, we got nothing. really no contributions from anybody other than the starters and Isaiah Miller. You know,
love watching Isaiah Miller play basketball.
That dunk,
incredible! Oh my lord! With a little
dude,
the little clutch reverse dunk. I mean, 6 foot tall and just yabo like it was nothing, man. I come up off the couch, about spilled Maggie's wine when that happened last night.
Man, that's you want to talk about if there was anything that was like, okay, the lone surprise bright spot, I would say would have to be him, because out of the whole summer league, you know, like the one guy who played that I wasn't expecting to play that actually looked fun was Isaiah Miller. Is he going to get a spot on this roster? Probably not. The guys that it was, Jake played awesome, and Gigi, after on this show, me and Uncle Buck, we were both like, man, comfortable GG is fun, but like he's comfortable. I even wrote about in the preview for the game yesterday. I was like, man, comfortable GG. I thought that was such a good word, because he's out there having fun, and I'm not mad. Like, who's gonna fault him for that? I'd be out there having fun. It's Vegas. I'm 19, but he played like an adult last night. You know, like that. That's what was really nice to see, is he goes out there and he's 11 of 16 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3, like 3 of 8 from the line, which
we'll leave that part out.
Yeah, but 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Like he had, after having kind of a not so good semifinals, he had a bounce back game in a big way.
100%. And I tweeted out last night when Scotty got that, when he missed that 3 with like, you know, a few seconds left. And then the shortest guy under the rim, Scottie Pippen Jr., gets the rebound, kicks it back out. GG ain't going to miss 2 in a row. That was a grown man shot from the time strap up there, and just buried it to tie the game. With I think like 10 seconds to go or whatever it was, force overtime. Just like you said, grown man shot, grown man basketball, not missing 2 in a row. Shout out Pip for getting that rebound, as again the shortest guy under the rim, kicks it out, a huge bucket from GG. He played loose. He looked like like you said, he always looks like he's having fun. But GG's his most dangerous when he's just flowing, and that's what he was doing last night. Like, he didn't look like he was thinking a ton like he was in Salt Lake City. He just was flowing. The game was coming to him, and he was on a friggin' tear last night.
Yep. Him and Jake both. Like, even if Jake doesn't get a lot of minutes on this team, summers like this go a long way in making him a more desirable guy for the trade deadline. You know, I mean, like, looking down the road, but like, he's playing good, man. He's played good this summer league.
So I'm still firmly, like, you know, Drew's been giving me some flack because I'm coming around on Jake, and I am. I'm coming around. He might be a serviceable NBA player. I just think he's going to be more valuable to us still in a trade piece. And I know Kleiman has come out and said that he's not going to move him, that they believe in Jake, but I really think, especially like, you hate to use this word, but here we are. He's played 2 games for us, and he's been hurt twice. And if Edey's got some injury concerns and those ankles are fragile, I could see us using him in a piece to get that other big, to make sure we got plenty of help in the front court, so that we're not, you know, strapped without a center. And so if Jake has played himself, just like I was teasing all last season with Zaire, like anytime Zaire made a bucket, I'm like, put it on the highlight reel. And that's what we need to put this summer on the highlight reel for Jake, so that he can still be, again, I think he'll be a great asset for somebody. I still don't know that he has a role in this team long term.
Yeah. I mean, it may not be on this team long term. I think he may have a long NBA career, just because the fact that you're a third-year guy and you're showing that you want to come back and you want to develop your game and you want teams to see you. He's doing all the right things, whether that's going to be on this team or
I mean, he had 32. He had 32 points last night on 52% from the field. I mean, about as efficient as you can be. 37% from 38% from 3. Not awful, but I mean, 32 points, just like, and it just felt like big bucket. He was getting to the rim pretty easy. He can slash.
That corner three.
That corner three. That little up and under reverse layup was so good in the first half. Like, he just looks so athletic at times. Still can't defend a lick, but I love guys who can shoot. I love guys who can post up and shoot for us and be that 3-and-D guy. I still think that Jake LaRavia is more of a trade piece than he is an NBA or Grizz player.
Yeah. Jalen Wells looked more like the project player that had been all summer league. He still looked good. Up and down. He's still not had a bad game.
Right.
He just had games that were and he's had games that were awesome.
But,
I mean, like,
good
God,
charge. That
Oh,
charge he
yeah.
took last night in grown man play, just
Yes.
super high IQ, incredible play.
Yes, I am coming out of the three guys we drafted. I might have been the lowest on him, just from
Sure.
competition. You know, like where you
Sure.
Sonoma State and then Washington
Sure.
State, but like it's plays like that. You see why
It's there.
he has. Yeah, you're like, oh, this is why. This is
Yeah,
why you were
it's
able to
there.
make that jump, and this is why you were able to make this jump. Like you've got it. It's just a project. He's a project, and that's fine.
That's it, man. I mean, he started D2 for a reason. He went Wazoo for a reason. It's a project. It's going to take time, but he's got it. Those plays like that, those intangibles, that IQ. There's your 3D guy because he was clamps last night when we needed him.
Oh yeah.
Again, massive take on that charge because like we needed a turnover right there because Miami was not missing very many shots, and if they got to the rim, it felt like it was going to go in. And for him to step up and take that charge, especially, and then like the officiating was a little shoddy down the stretch. I appreciate the overturn on that flop by Larson. I mean, that was the most like quintessential, like he had no control over the ball, and the announcers were trying their best to make it about Scotty's little forearm, but he didn't make contact until that ball had already slipped by the side. And as soon as Scotty touched him, he flailed. And so, shout out Coach Marsh for challenging that. First of all, it was a great overturn. But there was a couple little defensive plays right there where we stepped up, that being one of them, because Trey Jemison blocked his path to the goal effectively. Scotty came in and was pressuring Larson, and then that charge take was just it was good for my grit and grind heart to see that effort on the defensive end last night.
Man, Trey Jemison, dude, I'm not that dude gets a poor whistle, man, and I'm not sure if it's like just because of his size. The announcers pointed it out last night. They were like, Trey said he needs to stop talking to the refs, and I've noticed that he talks to the refs a lot for a guy that is like
clout.
Yeah, man, it's like, bro, come on, back it up. But then the more you start watching, it's like, man, he does get he doesn't get a good whistle, and then you against Khalil Ware, I think it was a good. You were able to visualize it because of their size difference and their body differences, but like. When you're that much bigger, just muscular, bigger than everyone else is, you're going to get calls. You're going to get called for a lot of stuff, especially when you got guys like Khalil Ware who are just tall. Their body, it's much more, you can see when their bodies get pushed and willowy. Like, you ain't going to move Trey Jemison. That dude is a
brick house.
Big man. Yes, big man.
Memphis Tiger basketball fans will appreciate this reference. It's a lot like Joey Dorsey back in the day when he played for the Tigers, where he's just an immovable force on the post. He's like, I've seen it multiple times. I've said it a few times. Trey Jemison's like the middle linebacker who comes to play basketball after football season and is a bruiser. And like you said, like he's not going to flop or flail. And not that that's what they were doing, but he's just so rock solid that it's going to take a pretty good amount of force to get him to move. And then like, because he's so low and so much understands position really well, for a taller guy like Khalil Ware, it's not going to look, it's going to make it look like a foul because he's going to bounce around because he's skinny and Trey Jemison is not. And so I've been impressed with Trey Jemison. I love the idea of him being our emergency center. We got him on a 2-way through the end of the year. I don't know that I would love him on a full NBA contract. I don't know, where he fits unless he continues to develop. But I mean, he had 8 boards last night, 8 points, and very, efficient shooting, 4 for 7. I just like to watch him play basketball. It's fun. Yeah.
He's a perfect 2-way guy. I think I might have said it with you or Uncle Bucky. He's like, there's nobody else that I would want more. It's like, if this is the stereotypical 2-way guy you can have, great.
I'm here for it. For it.
We're going to wrap it up talking about the game. I want to go into, there was some other stuff that were announced yesterday. And I was really hoping out if the Grizzlies won that Scottie Pippen Jr. or even Gigi, that one of them was going to get the game MVP.
Yep.
Also, real quick, shout out Wayno, shout out King Meek, shout out everybody joining us in the comments. Good to see y'all this morning and this evening. I'm getting time travel now. But they announced the hardware. They announced the awards for Summer League yesterday. There was not a Grizzly named Summer League MVP. There was not someone on the first team all Summer League named to the MVP, which is weird.
Yeah.
We'll just. The first team was Reed Shepherd. So Scottie Pippen Jr. and Gigi Jackson were named the first team all Summer League. I think that was I would have been concerned if they were not named to it. They just played so well. Scottie Pippen should have been MVP. I'm not really sure why they gave it to the kid they gave it to. I just really don't get it. I don't want to. What's his name?
Jalen Wilson.
Jalen Wells.
Right. Jalen Wilson. It's a Kansas bias, maybe. It's a big market bias. There's the only things I can think of because Scotty was better in every statistical category. And I think it kind of tells you something when they go to interview the Summer League MVP and he's in sweats on the sideline watching the end of the game, like watching the game, the championship game, and the other candidates are hooping on a 5-0 team.
Yes.
Like that tells me everything I need to know right there. And it's clearly like it feels very much like an anti-Memphis bias for sure because Scotty was better in every category. Gigi was better in every category. I don't understand why this kid won it over the two best NBA-ready players right now that I saw all summer. And I watched the most Summer League basketball I've watched in a long time this summer. And those two were head and shoulders better than everybody else.
Man, that's what was it's just so clearly they were just better players. That's what's very confusing to me. They were just better NBA ready players. They looked like better players. I just really didn't understand it. And he shot the ball well. I mean, like almost 50% from 3 and 50% from the field and 55 from 3. But like otherwise, Scotty had more points, more rebounds, more assists, more steals. I'm just like, what are we doing?
I mean, I genuinely like racked my brain for a while yesterday, just trying to understand why he won it. I really don't have a good answer other than it's a big market bias, a Kansas bias because he's a Kansas kid. I genuinely don't know what it could have been. Like if anybody Memphis bias is, Wayno's probably right. Politics, King Meeks, like. If you watch basketball and you're a purveyor of basketball, you know who the better players were and who were the MVPs because they led their team to a 5-0, now 5-1 record, but were playing for a Summer League championship while Jalen Wilson was in sweats watching from the sideline being interviewed while Scotty was getting buckets.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird too because the Heat had two guys on the all Summer League teams and it's like they still went with the Nets player. The rest of the first team, it was Gigi, it was Scottie Pippen, it was Jordan Miller, who we played in the semifinals. That kid, he was good. I mean, it was almost the reason the Clippers were there instead of us. Almost.
Absolutely.
Like he played really well.
He went on a heater.
Yep. Reed Shepherd, who looks ready for the NBA. Best shoot. I mean, that's, I don't,
that shots
that.
Pure.
And then your guy, Khalil Ware, which he's looked great. Your boy. That's like, that's great. The second team all Summer League, Bub Carrington. He surprised me
a little bit. Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect. And I was like, oh, cool. Donovan Clingan, Jimmy Jacques Jr., another Heat guy.
Yeah.
Jarris Walker for the Pacers. And then you have Jalen Wilson for the Nets. It's just like, and even then the announcers said it. The announcers even pointed it out on the broadcast. They were like, you weren't even first team. What about me?
Yeah.
It was just weird. It even felt weird when they were talking about it on broadcast.
I even think, the broadcasters, if you just kind of scroll through Twitter, I think there was even like non-Grizz affiliated accounts that were just like, this was Scottie Pippen Jr.'s award. I don't understand where this came from. And the outrage is justified here. And that's okay. That's okay. There has never been a NBA champion that's won Summer League in the same year. So we're going to go win the one that matters. We're going to win the hardware that matters. Ja's going to win the MVP, the one that matters. And we're going to prove all these haters wrong.
Damn right. Do you... Real quick, before we take a break, I do want to talk just about and talk with my hand over my mouth. I want to talk about Scotty because it does seem like this has been the discourse over everyone within the Grizzlies fan base is about a roster spot for him. What I know that you and Uncle Buck have had a lot of conversations about it. I think that the way he's looked in Summer League when his 55, whenever his two-way contract's up, I think he has made it very, very difficult to not re-sign him in some capacity.
1,000%. But you said it right. Like all these people, like we need to get him on a contract now. No, we don't. We have him on a contract. It makes no sense right now when we're trying to sign Luke and we're looking to possibly make a move before the deadline to then muddy the water with Scottie Pippen Jr.'s contract. What you need to do is play his 50 games. Once those are up, then you put him on a big boy contract. It's what we did to Gigi. It's what we did with Vince last year is as they played through their two-way, then we signed them to a deal, which they were a little bit different because they were ready last year. Pip has shown that he's ready now. Let's be smart here. We need to be savvy. It's been pretty clear no matter what Kleiman says, like we're trying to avoid that first apron like the plague.
Yeah.
And, I got some thoughts on that. Keith Parrish from Grits and Grinds is big on, like, why are we not going into it? Like, what message does that send to the fans? Like, they said they're going to spend. Like, why are we trying to save our billionaire owner tax dollars when we could go spend? But that's another conversation. I think it's smart to sit on Scotty's contract until it comes up due with those 50 games. But you absolutely have to sign him to a deal. 100%. There's no point in doing it now. But once his contract's up, he needs to be a Grizzly for at least the next 3 or 4 years.
I agree. And I think also you sit him down and you're like, hey, man, look, we're going to offer you a contract. Look, we want you're part of our plans here. Mm-hmm. We're just going to wait 55 games.
I think he'll get that.
Yes, I think he would, because his dad's Scottie Pippen Sr. I think that he would understand the logistics, the politics, the minutia. He's not an idiot.
It's a business too.
It's a business. And if there's anyone that is going to understand the business side of the NBA, it's going to be Scottie Pippen Sr.'s son.
Yeah, and I agree 1,000%. And I think like we as like fan is not short for fanatic for nothing, right? But like he's going to understand the business side of this. Like we see it from a basketball perspective that we don't need to hurt this guy. Like we need him on our team. But from the business side, like it makes sense to kind of hang out and wait on that contract to come. I think you tell him, look, you're going to get paid. You're going to get paid well. But let's give it some time. Let's let it ride, and we'll get you on the back end of this deal because he has played himself into that Tyus Jones type backup point guard role. And, a lot of people are coming on saying, oh, we don't need that. We can run Ja and Dez and Marcus. But, like, we have shown that we can win basketball games when you have a true point guard. Like, that model works for us because it works when we have Ja on the floor. It worked when we had Tyus. I'm sorry, I would rather have a true backup point guard that can run that position than having your small forward or shooting guard running point. Yes, they're probably pretty good at it, but I'd much rather have Dez running around in a motion offense and Scotty getting him the ball and letting the offense flow through Pip. I am a big fan of the role he has on this team. And again, we win a lot of games with a true, pure point guard pairing of Ja and Tyus. We'll do the same with Ja and Scotty.
Yep. It's like you said, a lot of people are spending a lot of time talking about whether or not Dez and Marcus could run the point. They're not stopping to think if they should run the point.
Exactly. Great point.
It's just like, they could. Why would you put them why would you make a square peg fit in a circle hole? It just doesn't make a lot of sense.
When we clearly have a circle peg right here that's going to come in and get buckets and is a very efficient NBA player. Excellent point, Luke. Point.
Ding, 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 Luke. Ding. We win. Too bad we don't run the team.
Right.
If anyone would like to give us $1 billion or several $1 billion to run a basketball team, we would be happy to. We would be very happy to.
Call us up.
I'll get the swords off the wall even. It's not a big deal. We're going to take a quick break. And when we get back, we're going to tube a little bit because it's Tuesday. Make sure you watch these commercials because they're new and they're good.
Watch the commercials.
Watch them right after this break.
Scottie Pippen Jr., man, he has looked so good this summer and made a strong case for NBA minutes.
Yeah, he's been amazing. And I think the biggest revelation to me is how well he has been on the defensive end. A havoc defender. He's always getting his hands on balls. He's always in the way. He's very good at anticipating. How that translates to an NBA 82-game regular season and playoffs is different. Yes, I do agree that Ja Morant's your point guard. I want him playing 32 to 35 minutes a game. However, in the minutes that he's off the floor, say Dez is out there or Marcus is out there, I'd still rather have Scottie Pippen Jr. facilitating and kicking to them.
I'm in your camp here, but I think that Scottie has a real role on this team. What if Dez and Marcus don't have to run one, and you can have Scottie running the point, have Dez and Marcus out on the wing, and then you've got Scottie driving where he can kick it out to Dez, or he can also shoot, can create space for our second lineup.
Tune in to the $2 Sports Show with Rusty Witten and Drew Gann every Friday at 3 p.m. only on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. Tiger basketball conference schedule released today. The non-con's been released. It's going to be a tough schedule once again. Good games at the crib.
The Rice revenge game.
FAU's going to be back.
Bring it. Y'all ain't FAU no more. Y'all just
UAB's coming to Memphis, and I like that. But it's going to be a home and away, obviously. But UAB's coming back to Memphis, and I think that UAB's going to be tough. They got a good team. Again, this conference is bullshit. So,
hey, why y'all hating on Penny though? All y'all folks in the Discord, make all you getting your shit off, getting your jokes out about pennies, candles, yeah.
All the United States athletes are coming to the Olympic Village, and they're being greeted by the Olympic Committee with a gift. Guess what one of them is going to be? Penny has some candles with a company called 1122 Candles or 1122 Candles, whatever it's called. They're going to be in that gift box, and he has a letter written in there for him. It's so friggin' dope, dude.
Tune in to The Anthony Sane Show, Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the Daily Grind. Those are 2 new commercials, and they're really good. You can check out those shows. Those are good. I like these commercials. I like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little biased, but that fella in the first commercial talking about Scottie Pippen may have been right.
I think I would say he was right. There was there was an Uncle Buck there too. It was good seeing you guys. You can catch that show, $2 Sports Show. You can catch Anthony Sane Show. You can catch No Bluffing. You can catch Grizz Next Gen. You can catch Grizz 901. You can catch Night Court. You can catch whole mess of shows over at bluffcitymedia.co. Yeah. Back to our show though. It's Tuesdays, and on Tuesdays, we have a little have a tradition around here. We tube. It's where we watch television. We talk about what we're watching. It can be movie, it can be TV, it can be sports, it can be whatever. I'll go first. I double dipped last night. I watched the season. So Kyla's been rewatching Lost, and she finished it last night. So I watched the season finale of Lost and went straight into Men in Black 1. And it was just, I think Men in Black 1 might be one of the greatest movies of all time. It's so funny. And it's so, I also realized I've probably seen it too much. I was sitting there and I was just quoting everything and not realizing it. But when the dude is like, "You want me to put my hands on my head?" Like, well, it's just so gross. And I laugh so hard.
Yeah.
But I've just been hitting the classics, man. Lost and Men in Black. I haven't gotten to see Twister yet, so I rewatched the first one. I'm going to go see it on Thursdays. And Deadpool Wolverine comes out, so I'm just watching a bunch of classics. Lots of stuff I've seen before.
Yes. Real quick, controversial take. Maggie, I'm so sorry that I'm going to say this online, but in Men in Black 1, the alien baby is born on the side of the road with the big eyes and all the tentacles. Tell me that Marjorie Tyrell doesn't look a little bit like that alien.
Why would you do that?
I know. I'm so sorry. But it's just mild.
Her eyes. Is it her eyes?
It's her eyes. They're kind of like they're like angled that way. Like, that's not saying that Marjorie Tyrell is not a pretty lady. The actress who plays her, she's very pretty. Don't get me wrong. But look at Marjorie Tyrell next to that little alien baby and tell me there's not a marginal resemblance. I digress. Sorry, Maggie, I'm in trouble for that one. But anyway. So yeah, my favorite thing, Game of Thrones update coming right up. Update. I'm excited for Deadpool 2. I cannot wait. Maggie and I have already got our tickets to go see it Friday night. I can't wait to go watch it. It's going to be incredible. Deadpool's one of my favorite series. It's only getting better, and adding Wolverine is going to make it better. Cannot wait. Friday night, Deadpool 3. But Game of Thrones, man. Season 5 has been freaking wild. So Cersei just got arrested by the High Sparrow for her incestual crimes with her cousin. Jorah won in the fighting pits and presented his gift to Dany, Tyrion Lannister, and the look on her face was just like, oh man. And like, Jon is getting ready to go out, on his little journey, his little adventure. You still got like Bran is still out, Bran is still out doing things. Bran is in a Dorian prison, and he almost dies from that little girl's little poison on her spear, and then she revives him with the antidote. Like, so many cool things are happening, and Jamie's trying to convince his niece/daughter. Apparently, this is Arkansas. Shout out to Arkansas. Just kidding, guys. If you're in Arkansas, just kidding. Love you guys. He's trying to convince his niece/daughter to come home with him. Like, there's so many storylines coming up, and I know, like, we just finished episode 7. I think there's like 1 or 2 more left in this season, and so like, big things always happen at the end of season. So it feels like there's a lot of like things that are bubbling under the surface, and this bad boy is fixing to boil right over.
You are, man, 5 is the sweet spot. You hit the sweet spot in the end of 5, and you're just like, every episode is just like great.
Yes. When Cersei got arrested the other night at the end of the episode, I'm like, let's go.
Man, we'll talk next week. I know that there's some
okay, now wait.
stuff. There's good stuff. Oh man, what are you gonna watch after this? What are you gonna do when you're done with this?
So we've talked about shout out Wayno. House of Dragons is certainly on the table.
Oh,
Definitely want to
yeah,
continue
yeah.
the Game of Thrones. But I'm also going to introduce Maggie to one of my favorite series of all time because they're coming out with another season. It's on Netflix now. It's called Your Honor. Bryan Cranston's project where he's the judge in New Orleans. If you haven't watched it and you're a fan of suspense, watch Your Honor. It's incredibly well done. He's such a great, that's like his sweet spot is in that in that show. It's so suspenseful. She's never watched it. Cannot wait to watch Your Honor. It's coming up very, very soon.
Kyla literally watched it, like all of it in one day. I think last week she loved it.
You can't stop.
I came home for lunch and I was like, what is happening? Because it was so intense. I was like, what are you watching?
Oh my gosh, dude. Your Honor is incredibly well done. Bryan Cranston's amazing in that role. He produces it, writes a lot of it. Like from the opening episode, this is not a spoiler alert because it happens literally in the first scene, but his son is involved in a hit and run with a mobster's son. And that happens within the first like 90 seconds of the series. And then it's just literally like all gas, no brakes from there. It's like Game of Thrones with the twists and turns and suspense, and each episode makes you want to keep going. So I understand Kyle's plight. You can't stop once you start, man. It's so good.
Oh God, I love TV. I love TV, man. Shout out TV. I don't care if it's melting my brain. Melt it. Melt it. That's gonna do it for our show today, y'all. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out with us on this Tuesday. Be safe today. We'll all be back tomorrow. Hopefully, we're gonna run 3 wide, and we're gonna draft some stuff. I don't know what yet, but we will draft something. Everyone have a great day. We're without basketball for a while. No Grizzlies basketball, at least. I know we'll have some Olympic hoops this coming weeks, but if I can leave you with 2 things today, remember just to be a little weird and remember to smile. Everybody have a good Tuesday. I'll see you tomorrow.